There we go. All right. So we're actually going to start using a blanket. So find the largest, thickest blanket you have and roll it into a nice long, tight roll. You don't want it to be too fat. It needs to be at least the length of your spine or close to. And you possibly will need to have a little pillow if you're super long in the torso to support the back of the neck as well. So starting with the long roll of your blanket, we're going to be sitting on the mat in front of the blanket, and the blanket roll is pulled right up snug against your sacrum tailbone. You might need to adjust it to make sure it's comfortable for you. Keep your knees bent to start with, and then we want to be in a straight line with this rolled blanket running the length of our spine. The back of the head is supported by the blanket, but notice that if the blanket is creating too much tension into that sacrum or tailbone, then maybe lift your buttocks up and have a bit more space between the buttocks and tailbone if you feel that's best. Make sure you're not wobbling. Blanket in a straight line, and if your chin is coming up to the ceiling, compressing into the back of the neck, then place a light blanket or something of the height that allows your chin to be drawn down to keep the neck in line. Arms are wherever you feel the most expansiveness into your chest and allows the elbows and forearms to rest with ease onto the floor. You can keep the knees bent to support your back, or if it feels all right, go ahead and straighten your legs out along the floor. So points to note that your lower back feels comfortable. If not, maybe have a bit more space between the buttocks and your roll. Your spine is lengthened in a straight line. Your neck is in line and you feel some form of opening into your chest and armpits. From here, the choice is to gaze at your ceiling or to close your eyes. And we're going to focus, as we normally do, by starting with the full diaphragmatic abdominal breathing. The next time you breathe out, lightly empty the abdomen completely, maybe activating the muscles a little bit by squeezing the last few drops of air. And as you breathe in, feel the abdomen expand, inflate like a balloon. The awareness of the diaphragm expanding down. When you reach the fullness of your inhalation, pause for a comfortable count, and when you breathe out, emptying completely. So really notice that you're going to empty the abdomen. At the very last, maybe squeeze the abdomen in and down, if that's comfortable, and then begin the next inhalation, passively allowing the refilling of the abdomen, diaphragm expanding down, pausing at the peak comfortably for a count or two, whatever feels best. And on the exhalation, actively allowing all of the carbon dioxide to leave by actively drawing the navel in and down at the very last. And continue with this abdominal breathing for a few more rounds. And as you continue for the next couple of rounds of abdominal breathing, see if we can soften the elbows and forearms further and allow the shoulder blades to sink down towards the floor. And the next time you breathe in with your deep, full abdominal breath, draw the breath up into the chest and expand the breath into the rib cages to the side. Pause at the peak comfortably. On the exhalation, feel with awareness, rib cage moves in, chest softens, navel draws in and down at the very last. So moving into a whole body breath of expanding the breath into the abdomen as you breathe in. Keep drawing the breath up into the chest, expand the breath out into the sides of the ribs, right up to the collarbones. Pause at the peak comfortably, exhaling the breath out and down. And doing 3 more rounds like this. And even though your awareness is mostly on that frontal plane of breathing, expand into the sides of the body as you breathe in and feel you can expand the breath through into the back torso as well. How much space can we create three-dimensionally? Both inhale and still retain some sense of space when we breathe out. One more round in your own time. And then here you can take your arms straight overhead. Keep the arms at least shoulder width apart. Dive the tips of your thumbs down to the floor behind you. Feeling a sense of lengthening through the sides of your torso. And then holding on to your elbows, if comfortable for the shoulders. If this doesn't feel right for the shoulder joint, just keep the arms out wide and long. Otherwise, holding on to your elbows, allowing a sense of softness of the elbows, opening down, openness into your armpits, front of rib cage softens down. Keep lengthening tailbone as if the tailbone is lengthening towards your heels to create a sense of lengthening into your lower back. And then swapping over, holding onto the opposite elbow, unless again this doesn't suit and your arms are out wide and straight, diving tips of thumbs to the floor. And then releasing the arms out to the side, bend your knees, feet on the floor, roll off your blanket into the floor to come up. And from here, we have a couple of options. If you have a block and it's comfortable to sit onto your block, you're going to have your block on the mat and you're going to sit your sit bones onto the block to further support into the front of your feet, into the shins and ankles. You could have your blanket a little bit folded to support underneath your ankles and shins. If this is uncomfortable and your knees are screaming out to me, saying, I don't think so, Nikki, then if you have a bolster or two large pillows stacked on top, you could be sitting like this. Third option, let it go if it's not working at all and sit onto a height of a folded blanket. If we're like this, we are starting to lengthen into the front of your thighs. So taking a comfortable seat for you. From here, interlace your fingers and you're going to draw the back of your hands up underneath your chin. The elbows are up wide and you're going to draw and slide the chin back and down. You're then going to curl into your upper back, interlacing your fingers, palms together, stretch your arms out in front of you at shoulder height, chin to chest, and pressing and rounding that space between your shoulder blades to the wall behind you. Turn your palms to face up to the ceiling as you rise your arms by your ears. Soften and hug the front of your rib cage into your back. Soften and slide your shoulder blades down your back. Keep moving the arms comfortably back by the ears. Take a breath in. We're going to turn the head to the right as we breathe out. Feeling that you can lift and lengthen through the back of the neck as you turn. As you breathe in, the inhalation brings the head back to the center. Cup on a saucer. Breathing out, turning your head to the left comfortably. And breathing in, returning. And then interlace your fingers behind your back, keeping your elbows off lock, and draw your palms together as you draw your interlaced fingers down to the floor, drawing your shoulder blades and also squeezing your shoulder blades comfortably behind you. And then gently releasing as you bend the elbows, curl into your upper back, chin to chest, meet your palms together, raise your arms overhead, and then again interlacing your fingers behind your back, bending your elbows and drawing your shoulder blades together and down, front of ribs hugging and chin draws in and down. And then bending the elbows to release and just rolling the shoulders. From here, we're going to bend the elbows and have the forearms and palms together. If I come sideways, it might help. We shall see. So we're like this. Squeeze your forearms together, squeeze your elbows together, squeeze your palms together. And then what we're going to do is we're going to open the elbows out wide and take the hands to the top of the head. So your elbows are out wide and you're squeezing your elbows and your shoulder blades together. Squeeze your elbows together, squeeze your shoulder blades together, press your palms together and hug and draw the front of your ribs into your back so we're not arching into that lower back. And then again, bring your elbows down, Squeeze your forearms together, squeeze your palms together, elbows are up at shoulder height if comfortable. And then open the elbows out wide as you press your palms together, hands on top of your head, and try to squeeze the back of your elbows towards each other and the back of the shoulder blades together. One more time, bring your elbows and forearms together, press your palms together, and then taking your hands to the top of your head, press your palms together, elbows out to the side, try to squeeze your elbows to meet, imagine, draw your shoulder blades together, and then raising your arms up and rolling your shoulders. From here, if your knees are saying, I need to come out of this now, Nikki, then what we can do is find our blanket, make it into a nice height, or sitting onto a pillow. If it's not comfortable to sit cross-legged, have your legs out in front of you and find your scarf / strap, whatever you have to use, and then opening it to a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. Okay, so bring your arms up and out to the side, soften and hug the front of your rib cage into your back. For more space in the shoulder joint, you can take your arms wider. Okay, from here, we're going to come over to the right with a slight tension on the strap, not using a full force, but just enough to feel that you're gently strengthening and activating into the muscles. Keep your left arm super glued by your ear, and then keeping your head glued towards that left arm, open your chest and ribcage out and up to the ceiling, and your eye gaze looks up to the left. Use your inhalation to come up to the center. Exhale, go over to your left, soften and relax your breath. So your right arm is super glued by your ear. And then from here, open chest and ribcage out and up towards the ceiling. Eye gaze looks up to the right. And then breathing in to come up. Soften and relax the breath as you bend your elbows down at shoulder height and draw the strap down towards the nape of the neck. Gently draw your shoulder blades together and a slight resistance upon that strap, as if you're just gently pulling it apart, not before your force. Breathe in, straighten up. Breathing out, bending the elbows, squeezing your shoulder blades together, front of ribs hug in. One more time, breathing in to come up. And as you breathe out, bend the elbows, squeeze your shoulder blades together, soften and release the back of the strap down. One more time, breathing in to come up. Over to the right as you breathe out, left arm super glued by the ear. Soften and relax your breath as you open your chest and rib cage out and up to the ceiling. Eye gaze looks up to the left. Use your inhalation to lift you up. Soften and relax the breath as you come over to the left. Right arm is super glued by the ear. A little bit of resistance against the strap. Chest and rib cage opens out and up to the ceiling. Eye gaze looks up. Smile and be happy. And breathe in to come up. Breathing out, relaxing that down. And just give the shoulders a nice little roll around. Taking your left hand, so you're internally rotating, bend your elbow, take your hand behind your back, and you're going to interlace your fingers, drawing your palms together. Squeeze your elbows together and drop your right ear to your right shoulder. So we want to be feeling a stretch, an opening, a release along the left side of your neck. From here, soften the shoulders consciously down as you draw your elbows in towards each other and gently draw your shoulder blades in towards each other. Right ear to right shoulder, and then your chin slightly turns down towards your chest. Should be feeling the lengthening and opening coming more into the front of your neck muscles. A few more breaths here. Now, without moving your head, just your eyes, look up to the far left, look down to the far right, the eyes look up to the right, eyes look down to the left. Now breathe in to come up slowly and gently release and roll the shoulders. And then you're going to take your right arm behind your back. So turn your arm in, bend your elbow, hand comes to the side of your hip here, interlace your fingers, draw your palms together, draw your elbows together, squeeze your shoulder blades comfortably together, left ear to left shoulder. Now be gentle with this. These are quite juicy openings for the neck. Consciously soften your shoulders down And start to draw comfortably your elbows in towards each other and shoulder blades in towards each other. Chin slightly comes down towards the chest, over towards the left. Soften and feel you can lengthen your exhalation comfortably. And the eye gaze looks up to the right without moving the head. The eye gaze looks down to the left. The eye gaze looks up to the left. And then the eyes looks down to the right. Breathe in to come up, soften and relax and roll the shoulders. Okay, now from here, what we're going to do is we're going to come onto our back. Have your block and your strap or scarf handy. Someone's moving around. Come onto your back so your knees are bent and your feet are on the floor. Again, important to note that if you need to place a blanket or a pillow behind your neck and your head to allow the chin to be slightly drawn in and down to keep length, then please do so. From here, taking your palms to face down, keep your left foot onto the floor, your left knee is bent, and draw your right knee on top of your hip, 90 degrees. Bring your shin level with your knee and take your right hand on top of that right thigh. As you breathe in, I want you to resist. I want you to try and draw your right thigh into your hand as you press. So you're resisting. Take a breath in, and then as you breathe out, relax and allow that right thigh to move forward into the chest a couple of inches. As you breathe in, resist. Try to bring your thigh in and you're pushing away at the same time, pushing away as you try to draw in. And on the out breath, relax and allow the thigh to come in a couple of inches closer. Breathe in, try to resist in each direction, really strengthening and switching on into the hip flexors and psoas. And breathe out, soften and relax. Knee comes a little bit closer. One more time, breathe in, resist in each direction, resist, resist. And breathe out and relax. Hug your right thigh knee into the chest. Option, you can straighten that left leg along the floor now, or keep the knee bent to support your back. From here, straighten the right leg to the ceiling. As you take your arms overhead, take a full breath in. And as you breathe out, you're going to bend that right knee, hug the right thigh knee into the chest. So you're breathing in, straightening the right leg, right back of both arms overhead. And as you breathe out, bending your knee and hugging and drawing your thigh and knee back into the chest. One more time, breathing in, open, left leg is active, heel presses down and toes draw up. And breathing out, hugging the right thigh and knee into the chest. And then from here, take your right leg to the ceiling, palms face down. And as you breathe out, lower the right heel until it's about halfway. Pause, breathe in, lift the leg back up to the ceiling. As you breathe out, lower the right leg until just above the floor, or until you feel that's the best limit for your lower back. So if you have pressure on your lower back, keep the leg up a little bit. As you breathe in, raise it halfway. And as you breathe out, lower again till just above the floor or where you feel it is best for your lower back. This time breathe in, lift it all the way up. Breathing out, lower it halfway down. Hold it there as you breathe in. Breathe out, lowering it to just above the floor or to a level that is comfortable. Breathe in, halfway. Hold it as you breathe out. And the next time you breathe in, raise it all the way up. And breathing out, hug and draw the thigh into the chest. So just creating a little bit of strength into that right leg. From here, take your right leg back up to the ceiling, palms down, and start to draw little circles, comfortable for your lower back, and start to stabilize that right leg by pressing your right sit bone down. Your left leg, if it's straight, is very stable, pressing down into the floor. And then circles in the opposite direction. It's not so much how large can you make it, but what stability can you have through that hip joint and also into the whole of that right leg. Hug and draw the right thigh and knee into the chest. And then as you breathe in, chin to chest and curling your forehead towards the knee. And as you breathe out, soften and lengthen the back of the neck and head into the floor. Breathing in, chin to chest, curling up, shoulders soften down away from the ears. And breathing out, soften and lengthen out along the floor. 3 more times. Please make sure that there is no pressure onto your lower back. As you breathe in, feel that you're lifting using your abdominal muscles rather than your neck or back. If it doesn't feel right, then just stay hugging the thigh into the chest and keep the head on the ground. And then from here, bend your left knee, foot on the floor, cross your right ankle on top of your left thigh, and allow your right knee to comfortably open out and down to the floor. Taking your hands onto your hip bones, make sure that your hip bones are even. Now, if your block is handy, to have more support, you could take that block and place it underneath your left foot. That can just give you a little bit more height. And if it isn't suitable to draw that thigh in and interlace, you get a nice stretch just keeping your foot onto the block. You don't need the block, don't use it. Foot on the floor, press your right ankle down into your left thigh, open the right knee comfortably out and down, keeping your hip bones even. From here, the choice is stay where you are if that's enough of a stretch, or pick up your left thigh and draw it in towards your chest. Your hands are staying down. So you want to keep drawing your left thigh into your chest, using the strength of your hip flexors to press your right ankle into your left thigh, opening your right hip and knee out and down towards the floor. If this is too much for the hip flexors, then interlace your fingers behind the back of the thigh and use this for support. A few more breaths here. And then planting your left foot back down onto the floor. Keep your right ankle on top of your thigh. Take your arms out wide to shoulder height. Now we're coming over to the left. Your right foot is going to the floor. You're turning to look over towards your right palm, and you want to allow your right knee to open out and down. Again, we're opening and releasing into that right hip flexor and also right into the IT band. Just go to a level that feels right, please. A few more breaths here. Come back onto your back, and then hug the right thigh and knee back into your chest. Plant your right foot onto the floor. Draw your left thigh knee into your chest. So the option is to keep your right knee bent or straighten leg out along the floor. And if your leg is straight, then keep that really active. Press your right heel down, draw your right toes up, soften the top of your thigh muscle into the thigh bone. Hugging left thigh knee into the chest, soften and sinking shoulder blades down the back. So here we go. As we breathe in, straighten the left leg, arms overhead. As you breathe out, bend the knee and hug and draw the thigh knee back into the chest. Breathing in and up, and we'll do the strengthening one after this. Breathe out to hug in. Do this 2 more times. Keep that right leg active, heel pressing down, toes drawing up. Let's do this 1 more time, just opening into the back of the leg, hugging the left thigh knee into the chest. Okay, keeping your right hand onto the floor, bring your left knee on top of your hip, bend your right knee to support your back now. So your left hand is onto that left thigh, and as you breathe in, you're going to resist. You're trying to draw that left thigh in, your hand's going, no, I don't think so. And as you breathe out, relax and draw that thigh a couple of inches closer. 1 more time, breathe in, resist, really put a bit of effort into it. Breathe out, thigh comes a little bit closer. 1 more time, breathe in, press in each direction, press. Relax, thigh comes in as close as I comfortably can, and then again, press. We're really trying to use the hip flexors, and relax and hug the left thigh and knee into the chest. Go ahead and straighten that right leg now. Straighten your left leg to the ceiling, palms facing down. Again, to support your back, you know you can always bend that knee at any time, okay? Otherwise, taking a deep breath in and lower the leg halfway. Breathe out, lowering it as low as you comfortably can for your lower back. Breathe in, raise it halfway. Pause as you breathe out. Breathe in, raise all the way. Breathe out, lower it halfway. Pause as you breathe in. Breathe out, lower it as low as you can. Breathe in, halfway. Breathe out halfway. Breathe in, lift it all the way up. Breathe out, bend the knee and hug the thigh knee into the chest. And then from here, left leg to the ceiling, small circles. Oh, I've just noticed it's raining. It's raining, guys. Slowly circle your legs. Again, stability here. Press your left sit bones down and feel that you're using your abdominal muscles to do the circling. Tune into your deep abdominal muscles and feel that this is the driving force of doing the circling. Circling the other way. Of course, your right knee could be bent to support your back, and the circles could be as small as they need to be. Leg comes back to the center. Hug and draw the left thigh knee into the chest. Chin to chest, breathing in, curling up, forehead to knee. Slide the shoulders down. Breathing up, soften and lengthen the back of the head down. 4 more times. Chin to chest, curling up. Breathing out, soften the shoulders down, soften the back of the neck, lengthening along the floor. 3 more times, lifting using the deep abdominal muscles. Just visualize and feel you're lifting from here. Any strain into the neck, then please release this and just stay with the neck along the floor and just focus on hugging the thigh and the knee into the chest. All right, draw both thighs and knees into the chest. Plant your hands on top of your knees to release into the lower back. Breathe in, press the knees away so your arms are straight. Breathing out, hug and draw the thighs and knees back into the chest. Do this 3 more times. And feel that the movement is being encapsulated by your breath. And your breath encapsulates your movement. It's all connected. Rather than just physically moving, move with your breath. Let's do 1 more time because it's so nice. Okay, 2 choices with your arms here. Your arms could be wide out to the side, palm facing up, or interlace your fingers behind your head with your elbows out to the side. See what feels most supportive for your shoulders and into your back. 2 choices with the legs. Keep the knees super glued together and the thighs into the chest with the heels relaxed down to the back of thighs. Or to support your back, keep your feet on the floor, knees to go from side to side. Here we go. Breathe into the center. Breathe out, knees to your right. Draw them up towards your right elbow. Hover them above the floor. Turn to look over your left elbow. Use your inhalation to lift your knees back to the center. Breathe out, knees to the right, to your left. Hover them above the floor. Squeeze, draw them up and in. Turn to look to your right. As you breathe in, thighs and knees back to the center. Continue 2 more times on each side. So remember, the options are to keep your feet on the floor and just allow the knees to go from side to side, and they could go all the way down to the floor to support your back rather than trying to hover them above the floor. And the arms can be out to the side if that is more supportive for your shoulders. So even and up onto both sides. And then releasing the hands and hug your thighs and your knees into your chest. From here, again, planting both feet onto the floor, and we're going to be crossing the left ankle on top of the right to repeat the other side. Your hip bones need to be square, and as you press your left ankle down, allow your left hip and knee to comfortably open out and down to the floor. Palms facing down. Again, you can support under that right foot with a block to give you more height or a pillow. And you can keep the foot here, or pick up that right foot and thigh and draw it into your chest. So using the resistance of pressing your left ankle onto your right thigh, you try and draw your right thigh into the chest. Allow your left hip and knee to open out and down. More resistance is the palms down. More supportive, interlace behind the back of that right thigh to draw in. So just see what is most appropriate for you, hips level, and then planting your right foot onto the mat, arms out to the side, bring your left foot to the floor, over to the right, turn to look to the left and allow your top hip and knee, your left hip and knee, to comfortably open out. It's pretty juicy into that left hip crease. Breathing. deeply and fully. Come back onto your back, uncross and hug your thighs and your knees into your chest. Chin to chest, rock and roll up and down the length of the mat. So chin to chest, curling, come all the way back, and then roll all the way up. I can't see you, so I hope you're doing this. Chin to chest, rolling back, roll all the way up. One more time, chin to chest, rolling back, and then come all the way up. Voila. So what we're going to do now is our favourite little opening into the front of our feet. Yes, curl the toes under and sitting the buttocks back on the heels. If this is just too much pressure into the kneecaps, then of course just come up onto your knees, curl your toes under, so at least we're still stretching into and opening into the fascia of your feet. Really good if you get plantar fasciitis. If you haven't had it, don't worry about it. If you do this every day. So buttocks on heels or kneeling. Okay, so keep the toes curled under, and just to, distract us from this amazing experience between our feet, fingertips onto the shoulders, elbows together. Breathing in, take your elbows straight up, breathing out, down and around to mat. Do this 2 more times. Again, you could be coming up kneeling. We're still opening into the toes, and then we're going to reverse. So I'll go sideways. Take your elbows back and up, round and touch. So breathe in as you take your elbows back and up, and breathe out to round and touch. So we'll do that 1 more time. And then gently releasing. All right, coming off and just tapping the front of your feet to release. And we're going to need a bolster or a couple of big blankets here to stretch into the front of your shin, front of foot, and also to help release any tightness here. So you can use a blanket and place it underneath your knees. You could take your fingers behind you, lifting up through your chest. What we want to be feeling is we want to be feeling that we're stretching and releasing into this part here. If we need more height and you have a bolster at home, you could be coming up here onto your bolster and then sitting back. Lift up through the chest. If you're feeling feisty, then you could just be having your fingertips behind you and lift up through the chest. So over time, and I hate to say, but as we get a bit older, we tend to get a bit tighter into the front of the ankles and the shins. So using what support we need, blankets, pillows or bolsters, basically we just want to feel the opening and getting a nice stretch into the front of the feet and shins. And then just slowly coming down, removing your blankets, bolsters or pillows, and come to all fours. So your palms are underneath your shoulders, and let's just stretch out after opening into the feet. Straighten your right leg behind you, curl the toes under, lengthen your feel as if you're lengthening your tailbone to the heels. And by that I mean I want you to feel that you're pressing back into the heels and you're getting a nice lengthening through your lower back. Shoulder blades slide down your back, crown of head lengthens forward, and lift your right leg just at buttock height, no higher. From here, take a deep breath in, raise your left arm by your ear, palm facing in, and as you breathe out at the same time, plant your palm and knee down. Straighten your left leg behind you, curl the toes under, press back into that heel. Keep pressing back as you lengthen through the crown of your head. Slide your shoulder blades down your back. Lift your left leg just at hip height. Take a breath in, bring your right arm by the ear, palm turned in. On out breath, plant your palm and knee down at the same time. Alternating moving with our breath. Breathing in left arm and right leg. Breathing out, planting down at the same time. Breathing in right arm and left leg. Breathing out, planting down at the same time. One more time on each side. So working on balance and strengthening into the lower back through utilising the core muscles. From here, straighten your right leg behind you at buttock height. As you breathe in, draw your chest forward, eye gaze looks forward. As you breathe out, bend your elbows and a little dip down or feeling feisty, chest and chin towards the floor. Breathe in to press up, look up. Breathe out, chin to chest, curling your upper back, drawing your thigh and knee towards your forehead. So breathing in, extend your right leg behind you, eye gaze forward. Breathing out, bend your elbows, dipping down to a level that's comfortable for you. Breathe in to press up, eye gaze forward. Breathing out, curling under. Breathing in and up. Breathing out and down. Breathing in and up. And breathing out, curling under. Soften that knee down. Come up onto your knees and just release into your wrists by interlacing your fingers. It's kind of like a figure of 8. If that's just too complicated, just do some wrist circles in the opposite way. Shake. Okay, let's do the other side. Palms under shoulders, fingers spread wide apart. Curl your left toes under, extend through the heel, raise left leg at hip height. Breathe in, sternum draws forward, shoulder blades slide down the back, eye gaze forward. Breathe out, bend the elbows, chest and forehead towards the floor. Breathe in to press up, look forward. Breathing out, curling under, press the floor away. Breathing in and up. Breathing out and down. Breathing in and up. And breathing out, curling under. Let's do one more time because we can. Breathe in and breathe out to come down. Breathing in to go up. Breathing out, curling under. Come back to the hands and the knees. Open the knees a bit apart for pose of child. Big toes touch. Buttocks move to the heels. Stretch your arms forward. Forehead to the mat. Of course, if your forehead doesn't touch, you can do one fist on top of the other. And if it's too much pressure for the knees to sit the buttocks back onto the heels, then just stay up high. Or place a blanket behind the knees. So coming into your pose of child, your resting pose, to create length through the spine, to allow a sense of nourishment into your lower back. And imagine that you can direct your intention through your breath to create space by feeling your breathing into your lower back and out from the space. From here, float up onto your hands and your knees. Step your right leg forward so your knee is on top of your ankle and start to sink your back hip and thigh down. Lift your hips and buttocks back. Start to straighten that front leg but keeping a slight bend and softness in it. And then hinging forward, soften the knee on top of your ankle, sink and soften your back hip and thigh down. Do this a few more times. Shift your hips and buttocks back, front leg straightens, but with a bit of a softness in that knee, and then bending the knee on top of your ankle, sink, soften and lengthen your chest forward. One more time, shift your hips and buttocks back, draw your toes up, shift your hands underneath your shoulders for space, and feel that you're creating a sense of length through both sides of your waist. Actively pressing your front heel down as you draw your toes to your head, and feel that you're drawing your right sit bones towards the back of your mat and your right hip crease rolling back and down. From here, stay high for length, or if comfortable and you can bend that knee, keep your spine long as you lengthen out along that front leg, draw your chin in and down. A few breaths here, and then soften the front knee on top of your ankle. From here, curl your back toes under, lift your back knee off the mat. The option is not to do this at all and to stay down. Okay, so option to extend, lift the back knee up, lift your hips and buttocks up a bit higher, lengthen through the crown of your head. Press into that back heel. Hands can stay here, option to extend, left hand to the outside of your mat, lengthen through the crown of your head, open, right arm up, reverse twist, open chest and rib cage out and up to the sky. Again, the options can be not to do this and keep your hands on the mat and the back knee down. Turning to face your front foot, hands either side, everyone meeting back into a high plank, rolling forward so your shoulders are on top of your wrist creases. Extend through your heels, lengthen long through the crown of your head, pressing the floor away. Support your lower back by feeling you're hugging the sides of your ribs into your midline. Front of sternum grows long, and from here onto the hands and the knees, step your left foot forward. So your knee is on top of your ankle, relax the back foot down. Shifting the weight backwards, lift and shift your hips and buttocks back. Front leg, a little bit of softness in the knee, and then bend the knee on top of your ankle. Sink and lower your back, hip and thigh comfortably down. Shift and send buttocks and hips back. And sink and soften, knee on top of the ankle, back, hip and thigh down. Shift, back, and then sink forward again. This time when we come back, we're going to hold it. Bring your hands back under your shoulders. Draw your toes up towards your head. So often we have a tendency to curl into that upper back and to lock this knee. So softness in the front knee, lift and create length through the spine. Protect the neck by drawing the chin in and down to keep length. We can stay here. We can bend the front knee as much as we need to lengthen out along that leg. Front heel press down. Send your left sit bones towards the back of your mat. Smile and wish goodwill. And then soften the front knee on top of your ankle. From here, we can stay with the fingers and the back knee down, or curl the back toes under, lift the back knee off the mat, lift your hips and buttocks a little bit higher, and press into that back heel. We can stay here. Option, right hand to the outside of your mat, open left arm up, reverse twist, lengthen through your fingers. Please make sure your front knee is on top of your ankle. Turn to look at your front foot, hands either side, meeting into a high plank. Shift your front foot back, roll your shoulders on top of your wrist creases, extend into your heels, press the floor away, smile. Option is to come down onto your knees. And then from here, back onto the knees, toes under, lift up, extend back into the first down dog. So from here, bend your knees back into your chest. Press the floor away. Rise your sit bones up to the ceiling. And then see if you can shift your buttocks to the wall behind you. Press your hip creases to the wall behind you, while your sit bones are lifting up to touch the ceiling. Now, mindful of your ribs flaring down, hug the front of your ribs into your back. Create space between your shoulder blades by softening your armpits in towards each other. Lift out of your wrist creases. Breathing deeply. And then bend your knees and walk to the top of your mat. Feet are about sit bone distance apart. Sit straight down into your imaginary chair. If you need more space, you can have your feet a bit wider apart. Knees on top of your ankles. Bring your arms up at shoulder height. Hold it here. Knees on ankles, sit back down and then press through your feet. Voila, all the way up. Palms into the center of your chest. Walk your feet into sit bone distance apart. Raise your arms forward and up. Descend the weight through your feet as you lengthen through your fingers. Bend your knees, sit straight down into a chair. Points to note, you can see your toes if you look down. You're sitting down into a chair rather than leaning forward. Front of sternum rising. Your arms can be as wide apart as they need to. Keep bending forward from the hip creases. Come into a forward fold. Take your right leg back. Keep your left knee bent on top of your ankle. Angle your back toes to face in. Left hand on your left thigh. Circle your right arm up. And then raise your left arm up. Relaxing your arms back down. Take your hands onto your hips. Press off that front foot and begin to straighten that front leg. Take a note that your heel to heel, so your back heel is in line with your front heel. Your toes are slightly angled in. Bend your front knee on top of your ankle. So you want to take your hands onto your ribs and lift your ribs up, create space between your hips and your ribs. Keep this lift as you open and turn your ribs to face over your front foot into Warrior One. Bring your arms up by the shoulders and then soften your shoulder blades down. So rather than trying to force our hips to be square, we're going to adjust to see what's most suitable for our body. If your arms are feeling tight, keep your hands onto your hips. Otherwise, arms by the ears, soften shoulder blades down. Front of sternum rising and extend into that back heel, pressing your little toe back into the floor. Option to stay here or take a breath in to lift up. Breathing out, hinge forward from the hips and ski your arms back. Breathe in to come up. Make sure that knee stays on top of your ankle. Breathing out, hinge forward from the hips, ski back. Breathing in to come up. So we're building up strength and stamina into the legs. Breathing out, hinge forward from the hips, ski your arms back. And then breathing in, come up to Warrior One. Soften and relax your breath. Fancy dancy move here. We're going to come out to the side into Warrior Two. Arms come out at shoulder height and we're looking over the front hand. From here, back hand to back leg. Front palm turns up. Bring the arm up by the ear and lengthen the eye gaze to look up. So we're feeling a nice opening along the front of your body. Take your hands up to the ceiling, ribs face over your front foot back into Warrior One. Imagine you're holding on to like 2 ropes on the ceiling, okay? And then use this to pick up that back foot, turn the toes to face forward so you're on the ball of your foot. Okay, now from here, what we're going to do is we're going to ski the arms back, hinge forward from the hips. We can stay here, but what we're going to do is come into Warrior Three, which is when we lengthen through the crown of your head, pick up that back foot, and just imagine we're flying. And then place your back toes back down onto the mat as you bend that front knee. Raise your arms up. Make sure that knee's on top of your ankles. A lot of balance here. And then take your hands either side of that front foot. Step the back foot back and step the front foot back into down dog. So a little bit more strength and balance tonight. Bend the knees into the chest. Lift your sit bones up to the ceiling. Bend your knees into the chest, kind of like you're coming into a frog squat. Lift your sit bones up to the ceiling. One more time, bend your knees into the chest. If you're doing a frog squat, lift your sit bones up to the ceiling. And then walking to the top of your mat. Bending your knees, sit back onto your imaginary chair. Bring your arms up at shoulder height. Smile and wish goodwill. Press through your feet, come all the way up. And palms into the chest. So we'll try to remember that on the other side. So we're going to raise your arms up and then sit down into your chair. So important to be able to see your toes, your knees aren't coming too far forward. It's not really how deep, but how long can you keep your spine. So sit down with buoyancy, front of sternum rising, sliding your shoulder blades down your back. And then from here, hinge forward from the hips, come into a forward fold. Keep your right foot forward, step your left leg back. Your front knee is your right knee. Keep it bent on top of your ankle. Back toes turn in. Right hand onto your side to come up. Super glue your arm by the ear. Coming all the way up. Start to straighten that front leg. Notice heel to heel. So your back toes are turned in. Little toe pressing into the floor. And then bend the knee on top of your ankle. From here, hands onto your rib cage. Lift, create length, and then turn your rib cage to face over your front foot. From here, raising your arms up and soften your shoulder blades down. and breathe. Very important. So again, make sure your knee, please, is super comfortable. From here, we can just stay and hang out in Warrior One and get really strong. Or we're going to breathe in, lengthen through the fingers. Breathe out, hinge forward from the hips and ski your arms back. Breathing in to come up. Breathing out, ski back. Planning for that time when we can go up to the mountains. Breathing in to come up. One more time, breathing out to ski back. Breathing in to come up. Soften here, relax the breath. And then we open the arms out to the side into Warrior Two. So we look over the front hand. And our torso is in one straight line. We're not leaning forward or back. One straight line. Look over your front hand. Back hand to back leg. Front palm turns up. Super glue the arm by the ear. Follow the gaze. Breathe and smile. And then your hands come over towards your front foot. Rib cage comes over. Raise your arms up. Hold on to your imaginary ropes. Pick up your back foot. Turn your back toes to face in. Hold it here. If you wish to extend into the balance pose, start to ski your arms back, hinge forward from the hips, keeping your spine long, and then pick up that back leg. Whoop. And we are a flying one-legged person. Bend the front knee, step your toes back, lift your arms up, back into Warrior One, and then come to face the long end of your mat. Relax your arms out and down, breathe, and take your hands onto your hips. So make sure you can see me, where legs are comfortably apart, toes facing forward. Maybe the toes might just be a little bit turned in for balance. See what that feels like. Tailbone lengthening down, crown of head lengthening up. From here, hinge forward from the hips, sending your sit bones back, coming parallel to the floor. Dive your fingertips down to the floor so your hands are underneath your eyes. And have a little bit of a bend to the knees to support if need be. Shift your weight into the balls of your foot, almost as if your heels are coming off, but not quite. And then take your weight back into the heels, almost as if your toes are coming off, but not quite. Now find your center of gravity. So it's not all the way forward or back. From here, lift your sit bones up to the ceiling, spread them apart. Ground down through your feet. You can stay parallel to the floor, or if comfortable, you can walk your hands back towards the inside of your legs. Pause where that is the most stretch for you. And if you wish to extend and it feels all right, bend your elbows and soften the top of your head towards the floor. Otherwise, you're staying parallel to the floor. Soften the shoulder blades down the back. So you want to try to lengthen through the back of the neck. If you are not folding all the way forward and you're staying parallel to the floor, then again your fingertips will be under your eyes, sit bones lifting, and you can have a bend to the knees as you need to. If you are folded forward, walk your hands so they're underneath your eyes and bring your left hand underneath your face onto the fingertips. Take your right palm onto your sacrum and then open your right chest, rib cage and shoulders out and up to the right. Keep the right palm onto your sacrum if most suitable for your shoulder. Otherwise, extending by raising your right arm up at shoulder height and lengthen through your fingers. Keep trying to touch the ceiling with your fingertips as you soften the shoulder blades back down. Turn to look down to the floor. Right hand goes to the floor underneath your eyes on your fingertips if comfortable. Left palm onto your sacrum. Open your left chest, shoulder and rib cage out and up to the ceiling. To extend, if you wish, raise your left arm up at shoulder height. Lengthen through the fingers. Try to touch the ceiling as you soften the shoulder blade back into the back. Breathing fully and deeply, evenly and smoothly, if possible. turn to look down to the floor. Hands back onto the floor, bend your knees, hands onto your hips, kneecaps face forward, press through your feet, breathe in to come all the way up, and just wiggle worm your feet in. Okay, this is where we can use our chair if we want to. I have a chair handy here, so pop, 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 coming back. If you don't have a chair, don't worry about it. We're just going to do a balance pose. So we have the option to use it. Okay, so left hand, fingertips onto the chair, weight even. Take the weight through your left foot, a little bit of micro bend in the left knee, and take your right foot, your toes, on top of your left foot. Lengthen the top of your head to touch the ceiling as if a string is attached to it. Lengthen your tailbone down towards the floor. We can stay here, or we can open the right hip and knee out to the side, take the toes onto the floor. Or we can bring the foot underneath the knee, so never onto the knee joint. Or if we wish, we can pick up, hold on to that right ankle and place it inside the sole, inside your inner left thigh. So we know we've got a chair there. We don't have to use the chair, but it's there. We could even just have the tip of the finger on it. Or we can just test ourselves, palms together, or we can come back to the chair if we need to. But feel your body is in one straight line, from the tailbone through the spine, up through the crown of the head. So you have the chair there, or you have the option of your palms, or growing the balance further by taking the arms up and a little bit wide apart. Find a focus point on the floor to look at. Take the weight evenly down through that supporting foot, but making sure we're not locking the knee joint. Lightly draw the navel up and into the spine to create extra support. And feel you can fully focus with awareness and feeling the breath in and out. From here, bring the hands back down, hands onto the chair, bend the left knee, and then we're going to bend the left knee, take hold of your right ankle, and cross your right ankle on top of your left thigh. If this is too much for your knee joint, then the option, as everybody else stays there, the option pop, pop, is to use your chair and cross your right ankle on top of your thigh. Otherwise, back to it, left knee is bent, right ankle on top of left thigh, and sternum facing forward. So the chair is there for support. You could be sitting on it. I'm just going to turn mine around. I need a helper, don't I? Here we go. Bending the knee, sitting straight down. This is if we wish to extend into it. If it's too much for the knee, we don't even go there. We sit to the front of the chair and do thread the needle. From here, if we wish to extend further, palms into the chest. And then raising the arms up, find a focus point, sitting onto that chair, hands down, onto the chair, uncross, straighten, and just a little bit of bounces. Hands onto your knees in circles. So I'm trying to give as many options, even though I can't really see you, so that everyone knows only to go to the level that is most suitable, because it is quite heavy onto the legs and the knees tonight. That's why we're using the chair. So, whoop, right fingertips onto the chair. So we want to make sure we're not leaning into it. One straight line, weight into your right foot, micro bend the right knee, and place your left foot on top first of all, so your hips are facing forward. This is your first option. If we get any pressure into the sacrum or lower back, then this is the best option. Otherwise, externally rotating, we tip the knee, toes on the floor, heel into the shin, or pick up the foot just below the knee joint. Or full option, hold on to the ankle joint, sole of foot presses inside the thigh. Testing the balance if you wish, palms together or arms raising up. Finding a focus point. And as we say, this analogy like life. If you're falling in and out of your balance pose, congratulations. That is completely normal. Just keep coming back into it. From here, hands onto the chair for support, bending that right knee, sitting down and crossing your left ankle on top of your right thigh, or sitting to the top of your chair and left ankle on top of the thigh. We've got a few options here to extend into it. Sitting down, spine and sternum lengthening, palms into the chest, or raising your arms up. Whoop, and finding a balance. And then coming all the way up, hands onto the knees in some circles, and then in the opposite direction. And then just to have a little bit of fire in the belly, actually it's more of a balance test. What we're going to do is finding our chair. I found this handy bit of information the other day. Sit to the top of your chair. So they're putting out all these sit to balance tests now. And basically they're saying if you can sit, stand and sit 15 times in a minute, you're good to go. You've got fabulous balance and you're not at risk, shall we say, no matter what age you are, because everyone can still not have good balance. If you have 10 sit to stands, we need to work on balance a bit more. Points tonight, so we're just going to have fun. I've got no idea how many times you're doing it. I'm going to time you, and I want you to keep the number in your head, and you can work on it. So the aim is 15 sit to stands in a minute. So points before we start, please. Protect your knees. So when we come up, the ankles are underneath the knees and we're just to the top of the chair, and we don't use our arms, okay? So you can either have your hands down or you can cross them like this. And I'm just going to do it slowly as a demo. I find spine long, hinge from hip crease, look down, press through feet, come up, softness in the knees. Sit back, spine long, come up, right in your spine. So I'm just going to do a couple of practices and then I'm going to time you. I can't see you. Keep the number in your own head. So it's up, back, up, back, up, back, pause. Please notice that if this is any pressure on your knees, then I'd rather you do form and function and stability over time any day. It's just something that it's a good piece of information for all of us to have. All right, taking a beautiful breath in and out, begin. And if anyone gets like 40 or 50, then you're fine. It's going to be quite tiring. Pace yourself. You probably don't need to go as fast as you think you do. I'm looking at my watch, so I've got no idea. You start to safely slow it down, I would imagine. You've got 8 more seconds. Okay, there we go. Relax down. Keep that number in your head. Okay, so it's just something to aim for. It's also a good level of fitness. So from here, we're coming back down to the ground. So that was one of the main reasons I wanted that chair. I am sure that most of you did quite a few more than 15, but it's also something to keep in mind for just what can we improve on every day. So I'd like you to come down to the floor now. have your block handy and have your blanket handy. Bending your knees, feet are on the floor about hip width apart, hands onto your knees, chin to chest, and just slowly cooling down as your hands slide back down, all the way back down to the floor. Notice when you're lying down, if your chin again is coming up to the ceiling, let's keep length in the neck and place what height we need to behind it. From here, hug your thighs and knees back into your chest, and finding your block, plant your feet back on the floor, lift your buttocks up and place your block underneath your sacrum. So it's not on your lower lumbar. So your feet are comfortably hip width apart for you, palms facing down. Straighten your right leg and straighten your right arm over the back of your head. So you're creating a nice length through the right side of your body. Sink and soften down into the floor. Feel you can soften that right hip. Soften the back of the hand, the back of the leg down. And then just gently bending the knee, palm comes back down into the mat. Lengthen your left leg as you take your left arm over the back of your head. Of course, if you don't have a block at home, use a short cushion, not a baked bean tin can, it's not very comfortable. And then soften and sink down. Now the choice is to do one more on either side, or if it feels comfortable, straighten both legs and take both arms overhead. Breathing deeply here. If this doesn't feel right for whatever reason, then just take time and do each side again. And then bending both knees, feet on the floor, palms down. Walk your feet and knees in. Draw your thighs and knees in towards your chest, and then straighten your legs up towards the ceiling. So a little bit of a slight inversion with that block or your pillows providing you with the height that you need to allow a sense of drainage back down into the hips, because we did a lot of hip work tonight, strengthening the hip flexors and into the muscles supporting. That sit to stand test, make sure your knees were okay. Otherwise, again, just slow it down if you want to practice that throughout the week or until we meet in person again. It's more of a personal thing, a bit of a challenge, because we all need challenges. Can we improve each week? Always making sure that the form, function, and structure and stability is in place. A few more breaths here. Try turning your palms to face up and take your arms a little bit away from the body, just until you feel a nice opening into the chest. And then just gently bending the knees, take the feet back into the ground, lift your buttocks up to remove the block. Keeping your feet and your knees together, finishing with a reclining twist. This week, so arms are out at shoulder height, palm facing up. Feet are together, knees are together. And we're just going to shift the buttocks over to the left a little bit. Knees come over to the right, draw them up, and then place them down onto the floor. Turn your head along the mat to comfortably look over your left palm. And maybe that right hand comes to the top to soften and support that left knee and thigh down. If there's a big gap between your knees, then place a pillow between your knees to support and cushion your top hip. And as you soften both shoulder blades down in the back of both shoulders, invitation to close your eyes, connection back into the breath in both sides of your nostrils. Begin to watch and follow the natural path of your breath up and down both sides of your nostrils. The next out breath, letting this go. Come back onto your back, so your spine's in one straight line. Shift your buttocks over to the right, bring your knees up, over to the left, down into the floor. Turn to look over your right palm. Left hand comes on top of that left, on the top of your top thigh or knee. Back of shoulders sinking down, back of shoulders softening down. Closing the eyes if it's comfortable. And connecting again into a natural breath in both sides of your nostrils. Following the path of your breath in both sides of your nostrils. And the next time you breathe out, coming back onto your back. Hug and draw your thighs and knees into your chest. And then roll over to the side, finding your chair. It might be a couple of minutes over time, but we're going to use the chair for our relaxation tonight into constructive rest. So find your blanket and a blanket or pillow for behind your head. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the back of the legs onto the chair. Sometimes it's quite nice to also have a blanket or a soft pillow underneath the buttocks sacrum as well for support. Something behind the back of your neck, and if you need someone to place the blanket over you, you can say, can someone cover me up? Otherwise, find your blanket, cover yourself up, arms out to the side, palms facing up. So coming into relaxation, using the chair tonight for relaxation into what's called constructive rest. So lying on your back with your legs, back of the knees and back of the lower legs onto the chair, covering yourself up with a blanket, arms comfortably out to the sides of your body with your palms facing up. If comfortable, eyes gently closed or soft. Get yourself very settled and warm. Palms gently facing up and the arms off to the sides of your body to create space and opening. Taking your awareness into the natural breath in both sides of your nostrils. Watching and feeling the breath here. Begin to tune into the temperature of your breath. Notice and feel if there is a cooling to the breath as you breathe in. Notice and feel if there is a slight warming to the breath as you breathe out. Notice if your breath is flowing freely in both sides of your nostrils, or if one nostril is flowing more than the other. See if we can start to allow the breath to be a little bit deeper, a little bit softer, with a sense of evenness in both inhalation and exhalation. Take your awareness now, feeling the points of your back upon the floor, feeling the spine in one straight line, and feeling the support of the chair into the back of the lower legs, and allowing a sense of heaviness and sinking into the buttocks, down into the floor. Take and place your breath awareness into your abdomen as you watch and feel the abdomen rise as you breathe in, and watch and feel the abdomen sink as you empty out completely. Continue to watch and feel the breath here. And taking your awareness into the whole back of your body and the back of your legs. With every out breath, a sense of heaviness and sinking further and further down into the support of the chair and the floor beneath. Heaviness with every out breath. And take your awareness to the whole frontal plane of your body, above the floor, feeling a sense of lightness with every out breath here. Lightness with every out breath. And taking your awareness into the breath within your whole body. And feel that when you breathe in, your whole body is expanding outwards in all directions through your breath. And as you breathe out, feel your whole body is releasing inwards. Expansion as you breathe in, and releasing, condensing inward as you breathe out. Continue to feel this through your breath, expanding in all directions as you breathe in, and releasing inwards as you breathe out. And gently letting go of this breath awareness, and take your awareness up to the space behind your closed eyes, into the mind space. Gaze up into the dark, warm, infinite blackness of your mind. And start to become the witness of any thoughts, colours, pictures, patterns, or nothingness. Gaze into the space as if you're looking into a clear, transparent screen of your mind. We're not getting involved or analysing. With relaxed detachment, becoming the witness. And then slowly beginning to withdraw the awareness from the mind space. Withdraw the awareness of being the witness and come back to feeling, observing your natural breath in both sides of your nostrils now. Becoming aware of your breath, and then shifting the awareness into the physical body, becoming aware and feeling the whole physical body upon the floor and the legs upon the chair. Bringing movement as you allow yourself to slide away from the chair so you can roll over and close to class, coming up into a seated position, sitting on pillows or bolsters to produce lift and length through your spine. When you're upright, if comfortable, close your eyes, palms into the heart space as a way of acknowledging our practice, softening the chin in and down, and mentally giving thanks to your body for the strength and health, for your breath as a vehicle of your life force, and the mind, the awareness and capacity of thought, and giving thanks and love and gratitude to our loved ones, our friends, our family, community and country, beautiful planet that is looking cleaner and clearer every day. Namaste and blessed be. And I'll just scoot on over to unmute so I can say hello and goodbye. Here we go. Cheery. Hope this is fantastic. See you later, and we'll see you next week. Same bat channel, same bat time.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you later.